ojú wa tó lé ojú wa tó kó.
Ta ló tún fẹ́ dúró pé kán máa gbẹ̀mí àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá lọ? Ta ló tún fẹ́ dúró? Ṣé ti rí pé apààyàn làwọn ará bíi? Ṣé rí pé àkádìsì gangan fúnra rẹ̀ apààyàn ni? Bóyá òun gan wà lára àwọn tó ń ra ẹran èèyàn lọ́wọ́ àwọn Fúlàní yẹn. Ṣé àwọn kan sọ pé àwọn tí ò bá rí owó san àwọn máa ń pa wọ́n, àwọn kan máa ń ra ẹran wọn. Bóyá àkádìsì wà lára àwọn tó ń ra ẹran èèyàn. So bóyá ó ń dọ́gbọ́n bó ṣe tún máa rí ẹran èèyàn rà fún ọdún mẹ́jọ míì kí ọmọ Yorùbá tó gbára wọn kúrò ńbẹ̀. Àní àṣẹ Èdùmàrè, àṣẹ ọ̀run gùn bó ṣe fúnra rẹ̀ ṣépè fúnra ẹ̀ yẹn wípé Yorùbá nation ní sojú ẹ, àṣẹ ọ̀run gùn fún ẹ wípé kò ní sojú ẹ, wọ́n fúnra ẹ ló sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ o, fúnra ẹ oníkọ́ ló ń fẹnu ara ẹ pé kú, oní kò ní sojú ẹ̀yìn yìí, lágbára Ọlọ́run bó ṣe ní kó rí fún ẹ yẹn, Ọlọ́run á jẹ́ kó rí fún ẹ bẹ́ẹ̀. Lágbára Ọlọ́run Elédùmarè ọba tó ṣe ọjọ́ òní tó dá wa sílé ayé tó ṣẹ̀dá wa, tó jẹ́ pé ìwọ tó ń sọ̀rọ̀ ìwà àkádìsì ò sí mbẹ̀ ò mọ̀gbà tí alámọ̀ tó mọ ìwà tó ń mọ́ tó wá ń sọ iṣẹ́ tá à rìn ẹ, iṣẹ́ tó rí wa ò rìn ẹ tó fẹ́ máa jẹ fórí wa ikú ré gbogbo ọmọ ojúlówó ọmọ Yorùbá kété, àrùn ré wa kété o, àṣedànù ré wa kété, gbogbo èpè gbogbo aburú tó sọ. Wọ́n ní ẹbọ ló ń pẹlẹ́bọ o, àṣàsí ló ń pa lásàsí, kó máa padà sórí ẹ o, torí fúnra rẹ̀ ló fẹnu ara ẹ sọ. Ìwọ ló sọ pé ìgbà tó bá máa gbọ́ òmìnira ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ó ní kò ní sojú ẹ, mo dẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ Ọlọ́run kọ́lọ́run bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe àṣẹ sí lọ́sàn yìí, kọ́lọ́run bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe àṣẹ sí láṣálẹ̀ yìí, kí Ọlọ́run bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe àṣẹ sí bí òun ṣe ń wọ̀ yìí. Gbogbo nǹkan tó fẹnu ara ẹ pè lórí ara ẹ, torí pé wọ́n ní ẹ̀lúùlú tó bá fàjò orí ara ẹ ló ń fà á lé. Gbogbo nǹkan tó fẹnu ẹ pè yẹn kí Ọlọ́run ọba kó bá mi fàṣẹ sí fún ẹ, nítorí pé ẹnu ara ẹ ló fi pè é, kò sẹ́ni tó sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ fún ẹ, ìwọ fúnra ara ẹ ló fẹnu ara ẹ pè lórí ara ẹ, k'Ọlọ́run bá mi fàṣẹ sí fún ẹ. Ó ní wọ́n ń ṣépè, àwa ò ṣépè fún ẹ o, ìwọ fúnra ara ẹ ló ṣépè fún ẹ o, èmi ò mẹ́ni tó ń ṣépè fún ẹ o, àmọ́ fúnra ara ẹ gbogbo nǹkan tó fẹnu ara ẹ pè nínú fọ́nrán tó ṣe yìí, mo bẹ Ọlọ́run ọba tó lọ́jọ́ ẹ̀ní tó ní kílẹ̀ mọ́, tó ní kílẹ̀ tún sún, tí ó tún ní kílẹ̀ mọ́ lọ́la, tí ó tún ní kílẹ̀ ṣú, mo ní kí Ọlọ́run ọba kó bá mi ṣe àṣẹ sí gbogbo èpè tó ṣẹ́ fúnra ẹ, èyí tó ṣẹ́ fún àwọn ọmọ ọlọ́mọ tí wọ́n rán ẹ níṣẹ́, tí ìṣẹ̀dá wọn ò rán ẹ níṣẹ́, kí Ọlọ́run ọba kó bá mi dá padà sórí ẹ, gbogbo ohun tó sọ lódì kí Ọlọ́run ọba kó bá mi dá padà sórí ẹ, àmì àṣẹ ọ̀run gùn fún ẹ o.
ẹja fún yẹn kì í ṣe nǹkan kékeré. ọ̀rọ̀ ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ ṣọ̀rọ̀ láyọ̀ àpòfẹ́sọ àti kìíyàn bóyá ká máa bá ẹ̀yìn jáde wá. bẹ́ẹ̀ ọ̀rọ̀ afẹ́nifẹ́re ẹ̀yìn jáde wá ẹ̀yẹ tó wá everything láti lọ́dẹ̀ tí ìṣẹ́gbẹ́ ẹgbẹ́ yẹn ń tòrò. ẹ̀rọ máa ń jẹrán yín lẹ́sẹ̀ ni. ló ń tọ́ fi pa lọ́wọ́ ni ẹ. ẹ máa ń jẹrán yín lẹ́sẹ̀ ni. ẹ̀yin Yorùbá ẹ̀ ní fi sùúrù kẹ́mi ṣe nǹkan kẹ́mi ọgbọ́n kẹ́mi ṣe bí òyìnbó ṣe ń ṣe. ẹ̀ respect fi ìlú òyìnbó. America, France, Spain, Holland, kọ̀ọ̀kan ní ẹgbẹ́ yìí wà. ìkọ́tẹ̀ wà tó lóun ṣe politics.
Ẹjọ́ wèrè tó ń sọ̀rọ̀ yìí, àwọn bàbá ẹ̀ tó ń pọ́nlé, ṣé wọ́n respect òfin ìlú òyìnbó? Tinubu ò respect òfin ìlú òyìnbó ní ìgbà tí wọ́n gbá mú wípé drug peddler ni, drug baron ni, kò respect òfin ìlú òyìnbó ló sáré ṣe plea deal tó forfeit gbogbo property àti gbogbo owó ńgbà yẹn. Kò respect òfin ìlú òyìnbó àbí? Tinubu ò respect òfin ìlú òyìnbó, kò ṣe wá sí ìlú òyìnbó gbogbo atrocity tó ń commit ní ilé yẹn kó wá commit ẹ̀ ń bí báyìí. Gbogbo àwọn politicians sẹ́yìn wèrè yìí tẹ̀ ń tẹ̀lé, wọ́n respect òfin ìlú òyìnbó, wọ́n ṣe wá sí ìlú òyìnbó kán wá máa ṣe gbogbo àṣemáṣe tí wọ́n ń ṣe, wọ́n ṣe máa ń ṣe jẹ́jẹ́ tán bá dé bí báyìí. Gbogbo àwọn jàǹdùkú yìí tẹ̀ ń kó káàkiri, wọ́n ṣe wá sí ìlú òyìnbó kán wá máa tàyàn bí wọ́n ṣe ń pààyàn Nàìjíríà. kán wá dánwò kán wá wò bóyá yàláyà wọn ò ní gbẹ̀yìn sẹ́wọ̀n ẹ̀kan tí wọ́n bá dánwò wọn ní dánwò lẹ́ẹ̀kejì tóró ẹ rò pé mọ̀rọ̀ sọ wọ́n pa òfin ìlú òyìnbó mọ́ because àwọn èèyàn tí wọ́n ọpọlọ wọn pé wọ́n dẹ̀ mọ̀ pé ìlú tó ní òfin ni àwọn dẹ̀ gbọ́dọ̀ tẹ̀lé òfin yẹn wọ́n dẹ̀ tẹ̀lé òfin yẹn which is part of nǹkan tá à ń sọ fún yín wípé tí òfin bá wà tí ètò bá wà tí ìlànà bá wà tí àwọn tí ó ṣe àgbékalẹ̀ tó ní wọ́n pé wà tí ìṣe àwọn oníjẹkújẹ àwọn jẹkújẹrá àwọn tó fẹ́ máa fowó ra gbogbo nǹkan àwọn tó fẹ́ jẹ́ kí gbogbo nǹkan ló jẹ́ tiwọn nìkan àwọn èmi ẹ bá mi gbé èmi ló kàn ẹ bá gbé fẹ́ lòmíì báwo èèyàn ṣe máa sọ pé Yorùbá ló kàn àmẹ́mi ní kẹ́ bá mi gbé èmi ní kẹ́ gbé fún nígbà tí gbogbo ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ọmọ Yorùbá sọ pé ohun tó wà lẹ́ ó ti sú wa àṣẹ mọ́ ẹjẹ́ àlọ́ dá dúró tá a bá dá dúró tó bá lẹ́ ṣe èmi ló kàn tó bá ṣe òfin tán tó bá ti lè rí lànà òfin tó dẹ̀ contest tó bá win tó bá jẹ́ òun win ó ṣe president ilẹ̀ Yorùbá kò sẹ́ni tó ní kó má ṣe president ilẹ̀ Yorùbá kí ọ̀kan ti jáde tó sọ pé tó bá gbòmìnira ilẹ̀ Yorùbá tó bá jáde tó bá contest tó bá win pé wọ́n ní yóò win ní àbí wọ́n ní yóò gbé fún ṣe ti rí ọ̀kan tó jáde tó sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ because ẹ̀yin ló yẹ ká máa bí pé kí lẹ̀ ń bá wa jà fún kí lẹ̀ ń fa wàhálà fún lórí ọ̀rọ̀ tó wà lẹ̀ ní bàbá yín kó má wá contest tí ilẹ̀ olómìnira Yorùbá bá dúró tán tó bá ti kójú òṣùwọ̀n tó dẹ̀ meet criteria tí wọ́n ń béèrè kò sẹ́ni tó di lọ́wọ́ kò sẹ́ni tó dá dúró ibi tó jókòó sí yẹn náà tó lóun ti fẹ́ ṣe kò sẹ́ni tó wá bá ń wa pé àdì lọ́wọ́ ohun kan tá a kàn sọ fún ni pé òkè kó má di ìrìn àjò tiwa lọ́wọ́ òwò kì í dí òwò lọ́wọ́ òwò kì í dí òwò lọ́nà pé òkè tó bá ní route tó ń fẹ́ lọ nìyẹn pẹ̀lú ẹ̀yin tẹ̀lé gbọ́dọ̀ route bóyá máa mẹ́nu bọ̀rọ̀ wa mú ẹ má máa bà nǹkan táwa ń ṣe jẹ́ mọ́ wíjọ́ ààrẹ ti láti máa mímú pẹ̀lú lórí ohun tẹ̀ ń ṣe ẹ má wá sí nǹkan tá à ń ṣe láti máa wá bàjẹ́ ẹ má fi wá negotiate lọ́dọ̀ Haúsá Fúlàní mọ́ ẹ má fi wá negotiate mọ́. Thank you my brother the same people dey ọgbọgbọ stylishly wọ́n pa bàbá wọn lọ́wọ́ wọ́n ti mẹ́wọ̀n títí wọ́n ṣe gbogbo ṣẹ́ lára tó máa ṣe wọ́n pa bàbá yẹn the same tí wọ́n pa Gani Fáwẹ́mi the same people pa Abíọ́lá wọ́n pa àmì àwọn èèyàn bẹ́ẹ̀ náà gbogbo àwọn pa wáyé gbogbo wọ́n pa wọ́n dànù ẹ̀yin yìí ọ̀tẹ̀tẹ̀ sí sọ fún everything is okay ẹ wá wọ ẹni tí ẹ máa forí ẹ̀ fagbọn tí ò ní dúró jẹ́ àwọn ọmọ ọlọ́mọ tó bá dẹ̀ dá dáúnìsì tó bá délẹ̀ gbogbo wọn máa sáwọ helicopter wọn máa sáwọ private jet ẹ lọ́wọ́ online nǹkan tí wọ́n sọ tó máa ń ka orílẹ̀-èdè tí wọ́n ti ní private jet jù wọ́n máa ka Nàìjíríà ò ní airways ti ta rẹ̀ gbogbo other countries even orílẹ̀-èdè tó kéré jù ní Africa they have their own airlines bí Nàìjíríà ṣe wá láwọn jẹ́ giant of Africa àwọn tó yẹn wọ́n ní airlines tiwọn everything there is private àwọn èèyàn ló ní because nǹkan tó jẹ́ airlines Nàìjíríà wọ́n lù tà fúnra wọn pẹ̀lú ọkùnrin olóṣèlú wọn láwọn privatize nǹkan tó yẹ kó cost billions of dollars wọ́n tà fúnra wọn ní thousands then they turn around and they are doing their own business then each one of them wọ́n ní private jet odidi country ò ní airline odidi country kò ní airline but each one of them wọ́n ní private jet then wọ́n ní their own private business tó jẹ́ airlines tó ń kó àwọn èèyàn lọ tó ń kó wọn bọ̀ and tó bá dágbà tó bá ní hey gbogbo wọn máa sá wọ plane wọn máa sá lọ they will run to different countries wọ́n wá fi àwọn ọmọ mẹ̀kúnnù lẹ̀ nínú wàhálà à ń pariwo ń sìn ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ń ṣe bí pé wọn ò gbọ́ wọ́n ń ṣe bí pé tí wọ́n di àwọn dìndìnrín kan lọ ń gba 10,000 wọ́n lọ ń dìbò like I said ẹ lọ wo data tí àwọn gan kọ fúnra wọn iye èèyàn tó register as voters compared to iye èèyàn tó jáde tó wá vote so ìwọ tó bá jẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀sọ̀rọ̀ àbí àjìjàngbara lẹ̀ Yorùbá if you are not proud of yourself ìwọ ló mọ nǹkan tó ṣe ẹ́ o ìwọ ló mọ nǹkan tó ṣe ẹ́ o àwọn èèyàn gbọ́ messages yín people listen it's only the stupid ones àwọn alátẹnujẹ àwọn lẹ́rí tí wọ́n jáde tí wọ́n náwọn lọ dìbò yẹn ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ rí nǹkan tó ju ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ wọn rí àwọn kan nu wọ́n ń sìn wọ́n wà ń gáló wọ́n wà nú ẹ̀wọ̀n ń sìn máa fi fọ́nrán wọn hàn yín nígbà tí wọ́n gbá wọn mú níbi tí wọ́n ti gbá wọn mú pé wọ́n wà lára àwọn tó ń kọ orúkọ àwọn èèyàn tó dìbò fún candidate wọn tán lọ ń sanwó fún wọn kọ̀rọ̀. Nígbà tí wọ́n gbá wọn mú, mo mọ̀ pé wọ́n ti máa regret nsìn. Àwọn tó rán wọn ṣẹ́ tán ṣiṣẹ́ fún wọn ní yọjú nsìn. At the end of the day, they will deny them páwọn kọ́ làwọn rán wọn. Àbí bẹ́ẹ̀ kọ́ ni? At the end of the day, they will deny them pé èmi kọ́ ni mo rán wọn. Mo sì máa fi fọ́nrán yẹn hàn yín.
Ìlú olówó àná, ọ̀pá ẹ̀ pa ṣẹ́gẹ̀ ìlú lọ. Ìjọ ga Dubai lọ, ó ń pa ṣẹ́gẹ̀ ìlú lọ. Ìjọ ti bú Yorùbá nation ní òun tí ó fẹ́ gbé àwọn Yorùbá nation tó kò gbá ló ń bú fún ìsìn. Ẹ jẹ́ ká pawọ́ pọ̀.
A lè jọ pawọ́ pọ̀ lórí irọ́, àwọn kì í ṣe onírọ́.
Tinubu, tí ẹ bá ti support Tinubu, ẹ gbàgbé ẹ̀.
Ṣé ń gbọ́rọ̀ tó máa lè yẹn sọ tí wọ́n bá ti support Tinubu kan gbàgbé ẹ̀ torí ìwọ tó bá sọ pé kíní kan ọ̀rọ̀ tó ń sọ yẹn gangan ló jẹ́ kí n wá fún lésì nítorí pé orí ẹ̀ ò pé ó dẹ̀ nídìí tá bá ní ká máa ignore ẹ̀ àti ignore ẹ̀ tipẹ́ ó ti ń sọrú àwọn ọ̀rọ̀ báyìí tipẹ́ tá ti ignore ẹ̀ bọ̀ ó fi ipò òun mọ̀rọ̀ sọ pé òun jẹ lọ it's high time tá máa jẹ́ kó mọ̀ pé no tá bá ń wò níran à ń wò nítorí pé a rí gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọ̀mùtí bí ẹni torí ẹ̀ ò pé ni bọ̀ bí ọ̀rọ̀ tí mo máa ń tẹnu mọ́ tá bá ní ká fi wèrè lẹ̀ kó sòkú yẹ bó ṣe fẹ́ ó lè sún jẹ tó bá wá sún jẹ ó lè má tẹ́ wa lọ́rùn at the end of the day that's why people like Akadiski a ní láti dá wọn lóhùn a ní láti máa dákẹ́ fún wọn a ní láti dá wọn lóhùn mo nígbàgbọ́ pé Akadiski wà lára àwọn tó ń ra ẹran èèyàn lọ́wọ́ àwọn apààyàn wọ̀nyí tí ò bá jẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ ni kò ní máa sọ nǹkan tó ń sọ jáde lẹ́nu yìí.
Àpò ara ilẹ̀ jà fún nítorí ẹ̀yin náà lẹ jáde lè wá sọ fún wa pé ọmọ Ìrágbẹ̀gì ni ẹ̀gbọ́n Tinubu.
Ẹjọ́ sáwà la sọ pé ọmọ Ìrágbìjì ni olóyè Tinubu àwa kọ́ la sọ bẹ́ẹ̀. Ara àwọn tí ẹ ń pè lọ́mọ ẹ̀yìn ẹ̀ tí wọ́n jọ ń kóra wọn káàkiri náà ni wọ́n jáde tí wọ́n ń tú àṣírí ẹ̀ and then kò sírọ́ nínú ẹ̀. Ara bí tẹ́ ti máa mọ̀ nìyẹn pé problem wà èèyàn tí ò lè nà tán ọmọ àlè tó ń fọwọ́ òsì júwe lé bàbá ẹ̀ tí ò lè claim ìlú tó ti bí tí ò lè sọ bí tó ti wá tẹ́ẹ̀dẹ̀ ń sọ pé everything is okay èèyàn tí ò lè claim bí tó ti wá ẹ̀jẹ̀ expect pé tó bá débẹ̀ ó máa treat yín dáadáa ẹni tó lè deny ilé bàbá ẹ̀ tó lè deny ilé ìyá ẹ̀ tó lè deny ìlú tó ti wá definitely you should know pé tó bá débẹ̀ kò ní nǹkan kan tó fẹ́ ṣe fún ilẹ̀ Yorùbá kò ní nǹkan kan tó already kò tí ì débẹ̀ gan ó ti ń jẹ́ kẹ́ ẹ mọ̀ pé Yorùbá ò jọ nǹkan kan lójú òun Yorùbá ò já mọ́ nǹkan kan tí ì gbé gbogbo agbára lé lọ́wọ́ ó ti ń fi yé yín wípé já mọ́ nǹkan kan ẹ wá ní pé kí ọmọ Yorùbá kí wọ́n wá fúnra ara wọn kán wá gbéra wọn lé lọ́wọ́ definitely kò ní fi yín gún lágúngi kò tẹ̀ ní káyín kún ajá gan talkless pé ó máa wá rí yín bí èèyàn. Ṣé ń gbọ́ wèrè?
Kò sẹ́ni tó mọ nǹkan tó jẹ́ Yorùbá nation ní Èkó akáwà yìí àfàwọn díẹ̀díẹ̀ ta ní afẹ́ sí internet torí kò lè work lẹ́kọ̀ọ́. Ìlú ẹ̀yọ́ ọmọ ìlú Èkìtì Kẹ́lẹ́ Ìkàrẹ́ Òṣogbo Oǹdó Ìlẹ́jà Ìṣẹ́yìn nǹkan ẹ̀rù lọ́wọ́ gbogbo internet àwọn bọ́ọ̀sì ẹ̀.
Akadiski ó gbàgbé Kwara Kogi èmi tí mò ń sọ̀rọ̀ tí mò ń bu ẹ̀ tí mò ń lálé ẹ̀ Kwara mo ti wá o kò jẹ́ ó yí ẹ ó dà pé ó gbàgbé kí n rán ẹ létí torí òun sọ pé kò séèyàn òun dárúkọ àwọn ìlú kan ó fẹ́ máa ó fẹ́ máa limit pé Yorùbá nation kọjá bìkan bọ̀ èmi ń sọ fún ẹ Kwara lèmi ti wá o tó bá mọ̀ àwọn ọmọ Kogi náà wá o tán wà nínú ìrìn àjò yìí o àwọn ọmọ Èkó náà dẹ̀ wà ń bẹ̀. Ní láti gbọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ randanrandan tí ọ̀mùtí amúgbó yìí ń sọ. Like I said, you can testify to it. He is stylishly campaigning for Tinubu and is stylishly working for MC Oluomo and Tinubu. You can tell from everything he has said. Gbogbo nǹkan tó sọ pátápátá kò ní ìdíkẹ́ máa wá lọ wá bọ̀. Wọ́n ránṣẹ́ ni. But it's quite unfortunate pé kò mọṣẹ́ jẹ́ kò tó ṣẹ́ yẹn jẹ́. Kò tó ṣẹ́ yẹn jẹ́. Kò mọṣẹ́ jẹ́ àtọ̀. Ọmọ àlè kan ọmọ àlè èèyàn ni. Àmọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ ìbò tó wá ń sọ tó ní wọ́n ṣèdìbò ṣèbí wọ́n ní wọ́n ní ṣèdìbò wọ́n ní ṣe gbá wọ́n ní ṣàwo. Ẹ jẹ́ kí n kọ́kọ́ fi mo mọ̀ pé ó ṣeéṣe kẹ́ ẹ ti rí bọ̀ mo fẹ́ fi gbé ọ̀rọ̀ ẹlẹ́yìn ní pé ibi tẹ́ ti mọ̀ pé ẹni torí ò pé ni torí ká ní pé òun lọ online gẹ́gẹ́ bó ṣe sọ pé òun kàwé òun ti rìnrìn àjò òun ti jáde lọ sí àwọn ìlú tó dàgbàsókè ó yẹ kó ti wo nǹkan tó rí online yẹn kó wá fi compare Britain tó sọ pé òun dé rí iye ọdún tó wù kó lò ń bẹ̀ iye nǹkan tó wù kó ṣẹlẹ̀ síbẹ̀ tán fi dá padà sílé kó wá wò kó wá compare pé ṣé nǹkan tó ń pè ní election ní Britain ṣé òun ní nǹkan tí wọ́n ṣe yẹn. Ṣé ti rí bí yẹn ṣe kó rẹ̀ sí wàhálà báyìí ẹ béèrè lọ́wọ́ ara yín èló ni wọ́n fún èló ni wọ́n san fún tó ń ta ọjọ́ ọ̀la àwọn ọmọ ẹ̀ tó ń ta ọjọ́ ọ̀la títí ẹ̀ tó tún ta ti àwọn àrọ́mọdọ́mọ ẹ̀ ẹ wò yá àgbàlagbà tó jókòó yìí nísìnyí báyìí wọ́n kó wọn EFCC ń kó wọn nìyẹn wọ́n lọ tì wọ́n mọ́lé wọ́n á máa interrogate wọn ẹ jọ ṣáwọn tó rán wọn níṣẹ́ abánidá wọn ní kí ìbánidébẹ̀ ṣé wọ́n máa yọjú sí wọn ṣé wọ́n máa lọ gbà wọ́n lẹ̀.
Mercy, with all their name and their phone number, look at it. What are you talking? Look at it. Look at it, voter with 004 voters tracking. With all the numbers, look at it. A follow officer in the envelope, look at it. Look at it. Look at it. See the money. Look at it. My officer, look at it. Hold it. Hold
ìyá àgbàlagbà ẹ wo adúrú ìyá ẹ̀ ǹjẹ́ ní tó bá rí báyìí nísìn ṣé àánú ẹ̀ ò ní máa ṣe yín ẹ wojú ẹ̀ ẹ wo bó ṣe ń wò bẹ́lúbẹ́lú nísìn tó fẹ́ máa sunkún ẹ wo bó ṣe ń wò bẹ́lúbẹ́lú nísìn tó fẹ́ máa sunkún kó tó lọ dáwọ́lé nǹkan tó dáwọ́lé yẹn tí èèyàn kan bá pè tí wọ́n bá sọ fún pé kó má ṣe ṣó máa listen ṣó máa down eléyìí máa jẹ́kọ̀ọ́ fẹ́yìn tó kù ṣó máa down ṣó máa listen nísìn ó ti délẹ̀ tán sí ó ti di titi ẹ̀ báyìí kó lọ máa ran.
Open that bag. Take him down.
ọ̀ràn tí àwọn yẹn dá síra wọn lọ́rùn nìyẹn kán lọ máa ran ẹjọ́ irú àwọn eléyìí nísìnyí ṣé ó yẹ kéèyàn máa ṣàánú wọn ṣó yẹ kéèyàn máa káàánú wọn pẹ̀lú nǹkan tí wọ́n ṣe because ọwọ́ ara wọn náà fi wá wàhálà síra wọn lọ́rùn náà now fún àwọn wèrè bí àkádìsíkì ẹ máa gbọ́ ohun tí wọ́n sọ ń bì báyìí ẹ máa gbọ́ bí wọ́n ṣe analyse gbogbo nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ ní ìdìbò yẹn ẹ máa gbọ́ ń bì báyìí ẹ máa gbọ́ ohun tí wọ́n sọ ń sìn.
Ekiti elections, because INEC has since declared the winner. Of course, there are more perspectives to that. So we've got three gentlemen joining us this morning to give us their perspective on what they think transpired for the elections. Ben Oguluntu Oro Jabo, he joins us from Ekiti. He is the Chairman Strategy Committee for Shegun campaign. We also have Honorable Taiwo Olatubosu, Director Media and Publicity, BO campaign. He's a former Deputy Speaker of Ekiti State. And then you will see Ariyo Dari Atoye, who is the Executive Director, Adopt a Goal Initiative, also joining us from Ekiti. He was part of those who were observing the election. Gentlemen, good morning. Thank you for joining us on the program today. Mr. Oguluntu Oro Jabo, let me start with you. Yes, we've seen several headlines about what your candidate is going to do or has said or done about the just concluded elections, but let's start from you giving us your impression about how the elections played out. What do you think?
Well, I think, good morning, Shambali. What I think of the election is that it was not free, it was not fair, and we witnessed a horrendous collapse of our institutions. The two institutions charged with managing the election, I'm talking of INEC and the security agencies. They all failed. They were seriously compromised, and what we witnessed was an electoral bazaar, so commercialized that it does not reflect the real attitude of the people. The election was very, very bad. There was also a lot of violence that accompanied the election. And I just wonder, why do we need to deploy such a large contingent of policemen and security agencies if they cannot hold down violence when it is occurring right in their presence? Vote buying is a criminal offense. When they see that, when you even call them, they were very lackadaisical in the attitude towards it. They never really cared. So what was the need for their presence? And then INEC positioned their boxes and all their equipment in a way that totally compromised the election. This election that just took place in Ekiti State lacked integrity.
Could you give us specifics as to some of these generic scenarios that you have painted? Any particular case in point?
All right, we'll begin. How much money did all the police officers that came for the election, how much did they collect? The DIG, we know how much he was given as his allowance for coming to the election. Why the police, the DIG, the police, the AIGs and so, why would they receive money from parties when they are coming to do what was the official duties? That is the start of corruption to begin with.
Do you have it on good authority? Did you see any of the AIGs and who gave them what? Which party gave them what?
We produce that in court. I don't want to say it on here. We do have it on authority. But if you don't, I don't want to, I will not put this evidence here, but find out about the evidence much later. What about a guy called ckle who was raiding houses, raiding everywhere, carrying ballot boxes all over the place? What about all the videos that are in circulation about people alleging vote buying and other things like that? There's a lot of evidence to show that this election was a charade.
All right, Honorable Othe, what do you think?
Thank you very much, Chamberlain. My thinking and position on the issue of the last Saturday election was that the election went free, fair, and was credible enough, and it actually reflects the popular opinion of the people of Ekiti, the electorates. And in performing their franchise, they freely expressed that in support of the candidate that they believe we make them proud and we deliver the goods. And don't forget that the styling quality of the party in government led by the JKF is a factor in this case. And by that popular voting for APC and the Bao as our candidate has given a good verdict of the acceptability of the leadership of APC, particularly in the area of good governance and outstanding performance in the area of infrastructure. But I listened to what Big Ben is saying here. My own is that if they are coming with face-saving excuses now, I am not surprised. I'm not surprised in the sense that you cannot expect an emergency assemblage of people within a period of 2-3 weeks or 1 month to come around and believe that they will be the one to determine what the people of Ekiti will do with their votes. And I don't know where they're getting this overbloated idea of their strength, and that it's making them that they are as popular as the APC in Ekiti State. But let me expressly say that I do not witness any vote buying anywhere, and it is alleging that the owners of.
ṣé ń gbọ́rọ̀ gbogbo wa la rí àwọn fọ́nrán tá a fi hàn wá yẹn, ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ evidence ló wà. Now nǹkan kan ni gbogbo wọn, every one of them, àtàwọn tó ń complain gan pé àwọn kan sanwó, gbogbo wọn náà sanwó. It's just that the highest bidder ló win. The highest bidder ló win. It's not like pé bóyá àwa ṣe agbẹnusọ fáwọn kan. No, gbogbo wọn nǹkan kan ni wọn yàtọ̀ síra wọn. But irọ́ tí wọ́n ń pa wípé election yẹn wà okay, kò sí nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀, ó ní nǹkan tí à ń fi hàn wá. Àti láti jẹ́ kí irú àwọn èèyàn bíi dìdìrín bí Akadiski kí wọ́n think back pé ṣé ìlú tóun sọ pé òun gbé ní Britain, ṣé bí wọ́n ṣe ń ṣe election nìyẹn? Ìjọ wo lórí ní Britain tí wọ́n ṣe election tí irú àwọn nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ lẹ́kìtì yẹn tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀? Àbí irú election tó ń ṣe lẹ́kìtì yẹn, ibo ló ti rí tí wọ́n ń ṣe irú ẹ̀ mọ́ nílé ayé níbi táyé lajú dé yìí? Now, ńgbà tí àwọn bọ́ síta pẹ̀lú gbogbo evidence tó kúnlẹ̀ tí gbogbo wa rí, tá tẹ̀ tún ráwọn tó ń snap ní orí lórí WhatsApp, lórí Twitter, lórí Instagram, tó dẹ̀ ń dárúkọ party tó fún wọn lówó, tó dẹ̀ ń dárúkọ pé party báyìí ó san iye báyìí fáwọn àwọn dìbò fún wọn. Kán tẹ̀ tún máa jáde lójúkorojú kán máa parọ́ pé kò sí nǹkan tó jọ bẹ́ẹ̀. Now, ẹ jẹ́ ká gbà pé àwọn méjèèjì wọ́n jọ ń takùrọ̀sọ, wọ́n sọ pé eléyìí ń parọ́, eléyìí kò sòótọ́. Bẹ́ẹ̀ tó jẹ́ observer lára àwọn tí wọ́n lọ observe election tí òun ò kì í ṣe ara wọn, òun gan confirm, ó ní yes, òun rí pé àwọn nǹkan tí ẹnìyẹn sọ pé ó ṣẹlẹ̀ lóòótọ́, pé ṣùgbọ́n òun ò mọ̀ bóyá ó wà nú òfin tó wà ní Nàìjíríà pé torí irú nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ yẹn wípé bóyá wọ́n lè dàbò yẹn nù or not. Lélẹ̀ tá mọ̀ nǹkan tó máa padà gbẹ̀yìn ẹ̀ náà ní pé wọ́n á sọ pé kò sófin tó dé, pé lóòótọ́ nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ kò bójú mu, àmọ́ kò sófin tó dé pé torí ìyẹn pé kán wá sọ pé ẹni tó wọlé ò wọlé. Ibi tán máa padà da ọ̀rọ̀ sí nìyẹn. Akadiski wá wáyé ẹ̀ lóde bó ṣe ló kàwé tó, bó ṣe ló lajú tó ló gbajúmọ̀ tó ló gbé Britain. Ipe Britain ló ti dé. Ṣé bá ṣe ń ṣe election Britain ni? Ṣé bẹ́ẹ̀ election Britain ṣe máa ń rí? Òun ni election ilé tó rí ṣe máa ń rí. nítorí ẹ̀ńtẹ́ àti sọ fún wa pé àmọ́ nǹkan tá à ń sọ àmọ́ nǹkan tá à ń ṣe ìdí ni táwa fi sọ fún yín pé a lọ́wọ́ nínú nǹkan tẹ́ gbé kalẹ̀ a ṣe tán àti lọ máa bá yín ṣe election tó máa rọba stamp tó ti mẹ́rin tó fẹ́ gbé síbẹ̀ tó kàn máa rọba stamp àwọn ò bá yín ṣe àkọ́kọ́ a bá yín follow crowd alọ́pọlọ tiwa we are thinking we are reasoning ó ti yé yín báyìí ẹ̀yin lẹ̀ kí ń reason ẹ̀yin lẹ̀ ń follow crowd tẹ́ kóra yín jọ tẹ́ ń ṣe bandwagon tó bá ti gbówó kalẹ̀ fún yín pé ẹ gbà owó ìdákọ̀ ọmọ ẹ lọ fi jẹun o ẹ̀yin ni ẹ mọ̀ ń pa gbogbo yẹn now ẹ̀yin tí ẹ bá ṣì wà pẹ̀lú mi tẹ́ ń wo kíní mo fẹ́ kẹ́ wo délẹ̀ o wọ́n sì máa ṣe analysis ẹni tó máa sọ̀rọ̀ ṣe kẹta ó máa ṣe analysis ó máa break it down fún yín iye tó cost ẹni tó win election Èkìtì averagely in billions ni o ìdí nìyẹn tó fi jẹ́ pé irú wọn ò lè dépò kan ṣe nǹkan kan tó dáa nítorí pé ó máa kọ́kọ́ wá owó ẹ̀ tó ná ó dẹ̀ máa wá èlé àti èrè orí ẹ̀ so ẹ má jẹ́ ń waste time yín ẹ farabalẹ̀ ẹni tó máa sọ̀rọ̀ lẹ́yìn ẹ̀ nì ó máa break gbogbo ẹ̀ down fún yín ó dẹ̀ máa sọ fún yín nǹkan tó máa ṣẹlẹ̀ wípé paraventure tó máa padà ṣe election tó máa níyàn kan máa jẹ president ó máa fún yín ní àjà iye tó máa cost ẹ nìyẹn láti buy vote èèyàn 200,000 ẹ bá gbọ́ ẹ̀yin gan máa lanu ẹ̀ nílé pàdé.
Is on him, and we are here to let the people know that Ekiti people they are enlightened, they are knowledgeable, and they know the process of election, and they understand the dictates of the rules of the game. And I believe we should respect them by not taking them for granted and by not disparaging or taking their intelligence for granted on the media. And
which means wọ́n sọ pé irọ́ ló ń pa nǹkan tó ń pè ní fact checking òun náà ń ṣe bó ṣe ń sọ̀rọ̀ yẹn.
Because he's saying that we have to present that in the court of law. Well, the process allows for that, and I think it's a good thing if they have to meet us in court.
All right then. So, Derek, what did you see?
Observer ló fẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ yìí o.
Thank you for having me. I would say that I think the election was an improvement on what we saw in Anambra State, especially with the issue of technology. The beavers recording significant improvement. I will also acknowledge the fact that this election witnessed a scandalous level of vote buying. It is not a report that people who have to hear from me alone. When you look at the media, I watch with incidents, including people who even shamelessly displaying their photographs and videos, acknowledging the fact that indeed they got money for selling their votes. In addition to that, we also must acknowledge the reported cases of violence in some places. For instance, in my local government, I'm from Ekiti State, I also voted and observed. You saw that, for instance, in Elawe Ekiti, I think a reported case of a ballot box being snatched away. Now, overall, that's a difference in entirely whether those cases are sufficient enough to undermine the credibility of the election. It's another thing that will definitely be evaluated in days ahead. But I would like to say this. I think what we saw before this election on election day usually attributed to the desperation of politicians. And, there is always this an attempt to win at all costs. And we saw that in pre-election violence, even though we know we had a large deployment of security agencies. Now, these security agencies, unfortunately, in one of the videos, for instance, so people were asking, why did you allow them to take away this ballot box? But again, somebody was saying, quickly called my attention that the people who came, they came with guns. The security agencies deployed at the polling booths we're not allowed to carry guns based on, I think, the law. So that's another thing probably maybe for a review in the future. But by and large, when you look at this election, I believe that there are a lot of lessons to learn in the course of this election. And I believe that INEC will also must now insist
assist further in terms of the placement of the ballot boxes. In some areas, we saw compliance in terms of trying to guarantee the sacredness or the sanctity of, the secrecy, because we operate an open secret system, the secrecy of the ballot sum. In areas where there have been this to open display of each, some people, display in such a manner that the voting pattern could be compromised. Some vigilant voters actually resisted that and said, look, we have to place it properly. In some areas, it was compromised in such a way that those who are doing the vote buying were able to substantially monitor those who are doing, were voting. It's a shame that the issue of vote buying is now become a serious cost on our democracy. It's a huge cost. Vote buying is now a huge cost on our democracy, in the sense that Chamberlain, 2 billion naira will give you 200,000 votes and 10,000 naira. Now, that's, I treated something a few days, yesterday, and I said that the candidate who's likely to win the 2023 general election is likely to get a minimum of 50 million votes. And at 10,000, that is going to be at 150 billion naira. That is the sad stage of our country.
Ṣé ẹ gbọ́ analysis máa yẹn? Ṣé ẹ gbọ́ calculation yẹn? Iye tó máa cost. Now, think about it. Àwọn nǹkan tí àwọn akadiski sọ pé kí àwọn èèyàn wá jókòó tí kan wá máa ṣe nìyẹn o. Kan wá gba owó ìdákọ̀ mu. Of which èèyàn tó fún wọn lówó yẹn máa calculate pé òun ti ná billions. Because nígbà tó bá máa calculate iye èèyàn tó fún lówó kó tó di pé win, wọ́n pọ̀. Even though owó tó fún yàn kọ̀ọ̀kan ò ju 10,000 lọ, owó tí wọ́n lè ná fóṣù kan. In fact, kò tó minimum wage. Kò tó nǹkan tó ń pè ní minimum wage ní Nàìjíríà. But at the end of the day, wọ́n máa ta future àrọ́mọdọ́mọ wọ́n máa ta fẹ́ nìyẹn. Wọ́n máa fìyà jẹ wọ́n. Àtẹni tó mọ wá àtẹni tí ò mẹsẹ̀, wọ́n wá jọ wà nínú wàhálà yẹn papọ̀. Inú nǹkan tán ní kí àwọn èèyàn wá jókòó sí nìyẹn o. Inú nǹkan tán ní tí àwọn akadiski ní kọ́mọ Yorùbá wá jókòó sí nìyẹn o.
My only worry is just that the issue of vote buying, there are penalties stipulated in the electoral for vote buying. It may not be a substantial ground for nullification of election or making making an election to be discarded or something like that.
Let me take this back to Mr. Oguluntu.
Now, gbogbo nǹkan tó sọ yẹn, ó fìdí ọ̀rọ̀ tá à ń sọ múlẹ̀. Wípé despite the fact pé wọ́n ṣe gbogbo nǹkan tí wọ́n ṣe yẹn, fún ẹ̀yin tí ẹ ń sọ yìí pé ẹ jẹ́ kí lágbájá lọ, ẹ jẹ́ kí gbogbo Yorùbá kan fi Yorùbá nation lẹ̀. Which means at the end of the day, if Hausa Fulani decide pé your candidate did not win the election and decide to go another way, based on the law they have and everything they have on ground, they can just tell you pé kò sófin tó de nǹkan táwọn ṣe yẹn. Just like bí ẹni ṣe ṣàlàyé fún yín nísìnyí pé despite the fact pé àwọn rí evidence gbogbo nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ yẹn tí ò bójúmu tí ò dẹ̀ yẹ kó máa ṣẹlẹ̀, but kò sí nínú òfin election nílùú yẹn wípé tírú ẹ̀ bá ṣẹlẹ̀ kan nullify election yẹn àbí kan cancel ẹ̀. Which means at the end of the day, wọ́n máa declare ẹ̀ tán máa declare náà ni. Gbogbo nǹkan yín làwa ti rò papọ̀ láti rí la ṣe ń sọ fún yín pé ẹ má waste time. Ẹ̀wọ̀n Akadiski gan ní ọ̀rọ̀ àṣírí ẹ̀ amukun mẹ́kọ̀ọ́ tó ń sọ. Ó ní kán tiẹ̀ jẹ́ kó lọ ná, káwọn tiẹ̀ trust Buhari bóyá ó máa gbé ìjọba fún. Tí ò bá wá gbé fún, káwọn ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ wá wo nǹkan táwọn máa ṣe. Ọ̀rọ̀ àpọ̀dà ọ̀rọ̀ àṣírí ni. It's not far-fetched. I need láti máa wá díẹ̀ mọ́. If they can do what they did to Abiola, and tí gbogbo èèyàn mọ̀ pé ó win the election tí ò tẹ̀ sí kọ́nukọ́ tí ò sáburú ń bẹ̀. If they can do that, you should not expect anything better. In fact, you should expect worse this time around. You should expect worse. That's why we are saying, our only time tí wọ́n waste. Nítorí pé nǹkan táwa gbé dání tá à ń ṣe àti ibi tá à ń lọ àti rí àti wà ń bẹ̀. So it's too late for anybody to be telling us. A sovereign Yoruba nation is what we want. Ilẹ̀ olómìnira ti Yorùbá òun là ń fẹ́. Ọlọ́run dẹ̀ ti fún wa. Dẹ̀ ṣe tán àti gbélé ẹ̀fẹ́ nìkankan. So Akadiski, gbogbo àtáàkì tó bá wù tó lè ṣe, gbogbo ọ̀rọ̀ tó wù tó lè sọ, tètè máa bọ́ síta kó máa sọ o. Ẹ̀yin gbá, olóyin àgbàdo sí. ọ̀rọ̀ títí wa kọ́ ló ń sọ yẹn. Kí n tó máa lọ finally, ẹ jẹ́ kí n fi eléyìí ka lẹ́sẹ̀. Mo fẹ́ kẹ́ gbọ́ kinní kan. Mo ń ṣàlàyé ọ̀rọ̀ kan fún èèyàn kan. Mo ní wọ́n sọ pé APC ti yan ṣé Kabiru Masari àbí kí náà ló ń jẹ́. Then wọ́n sọ̀rọ̀ Muslim ticket. Then àwọn Labour Party tí àwọn Igbo ń pariwo tí gbogbo tán àwọn YouTube gbogbo wọn tọ́dẹ̀ ní ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn wòlíì àwọn pastor ike wọ́n ń pariwo which we've been telling them gbogbo wọn ń ṣera wọn wọ́n ń tanra wọn ni. Hausa Fulani mọ ibi tí wọ́n lọ wọ́n dẹ̀ mọ nǹkan tí wọ́n máa ṣe nǹkan tó máa ṣe náà máa ṣe at the end of the day. This is just a waste of time. Wọ́n láwọn yẹn náà wọ́n láwọn gbé Christian ticket kalẹ̀. So wọ́n ní Obi ó choose Dr. Doyin Okupe. Mo fẹ́ kẹ́ gbọ́ kínní. Màá wá sọ nǹkan kan fún yín kí n tó máa lọ.
Presidential candidates' names and Deuteronomy. Whether or not some of the political parties have turned in the names of their candidates to INEC. Well, today is the deadline, the 17th day of June 2022, on the timetable and the schedule of activities of INEC, the umpire. And INEC has said that it will not change the deadline. It's expecting the political parties to do what is necessary of them for the submission of the candidates. Tonight, we'll be hearing from two major political parties in Nigeria, one of the APC and the other of the Labour Party. Tonight, I'm being joined by a chieftain of the APC, Mr. Kabiru Faskari, who joins us in our Abuja studio, as well as Dr. Doyin Okupe, who is the Director General of the Peter Obi Campaign Organization. He joins us also from our Abuja studio. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining us tonight. Let me begin with you, Mr. Faskari. Give us a sense of what is happening. Who is the vice presidential candidate of your party? The last time we checked with INEC, there is no name or there is no vice presidential candidate of the APC submitted to INEC. As your party submitted as of now?
Yes. Ibrahim Kabir Masari is our vice presidential nominee. And he was the...
Okay.
He was
so,
the...
can you say that again? Who is he?
The welfare secretary of the APC under Oshimole. And he's a well-known politician.
And his name is submitted?
Yes, his name has been submitted.
What can you tell us about him? Is he a Muslim? Is he a Christian?
Well, he qualifies as a veteran in terms of politics because he joined politics from the onset. He began, I think, being a member of the PDP. He's young. He represents the youth, and he's grounded in politics because he was even a national official of the APC, and he's quite close to the presidential candidate. He's been with him for a very long time, so I believe it's a very informed decision to put out his name.
So it looks like some breaking news coming. Kabiru Masari, his name is the vice presidential candidate of the APC. What informed the choice of Mr. Kabiru Masari?
Well, there are many considerations. You see, in politics, you weigh your chances. You get somebody who would work with you very well, whom you know has the capacity to understand and project your manifesto, and somebody who knows a certain part of the regions that you need votes from, and then you need also a person who will work with you, who will add value to the whole ticket. So you make, and then you talk to people, you consult, and then you come to a decision. And I believe that Aswaju did that. That's how he came up with the name of nominee. The the onus is on the presidential candidate to choose his own nominee. He could be assisted in some ways or other, but I know that the choice of Masari is very well informed, because I know that our presidential candidate knows the vice presidential nominee very well. They have been working together for a very long time.
So, is this the decision of the presidential candidate Bola Tinubu, or the decision of the president, or the decision of the party leadership? Who nominated or who brought the
No. I think what it is the decision of the presidential candidate more than any other thing. He may have conferred with the party leadership, but I believe that it is largely the decision of the presidential candidate after due diligence. You know, talking with the president, talking with the party, and talking with some governors, because Masari is from Katsina State, where I come from, and I know him very well. I know that he has had a very good relationship with our presidential candidate, and I know that he's a grassroots person. He knows his onions very well. He mixes a lot. So I know that it's a very good decision. He may not be very popular in the sense that he was a governor or something, but I know that we know him very well in APC.
Okay, let me go to Dr. Doyin Okupe of the Labour Party.
Now, nígbà tí wọ́n bá ń bi Doyin Okupe léèrè ọ̀rọ̀, mo fẹ́ kẹ́ ẹ gbọ́ gbogbo nǹkan tó ń sọ. Ẹ dẹ̀ máa study body language ẹ̀. Ṣé rí àwọn party méjèèjì? Number one, mo fẹ́ kí kíní kan kọ́kọ́ lọ yé gbogbo èèyàn ọmọ Yorùbá. Wọ́n ń play lórí intelligence àwọn èèyàn. Mo ti sọ fún yín tẹ́lẹ̀tẹ́lẹ̀. Chess game ni wọ́n ka kíní ikún. Wọ́n ń tayò ọpọlọ, wọ́n dẹ̀ ń fi ọpọlọ àwọn èèyàn ṣeré. Wọ́n fẹ́ wo ìhà tí àwọn èèyàn máa kọ sí pé wọ́n fẹ́ gbé Muslim ticket kalẹ̀ àbí wọ́n fẹ́ gbé Christian ticket kalẹ̀. Wọ́n kọ́kọ́ fẹ́ máa wo ìhà tí ẹ máa kọ sí. Ṣé ẹ rántí déètì tí wọ́n ń sọ pé àwọn èèyàn wọ̀nyí wọ́n gbé vice president wọ́n kalẹ̀. Wọ́n dúró the last day. Ìjọ́ tí kinní yẹn máa close. Tọ́ máa pé tẹ́ àwọn ò bá ṣe, ó possible kí wọ́n sọ pé kò sáyè mọ́. Tọ́dẹ̀ lè sọ pé okay, fún díẹ̀ yìí bóyá wọ́n disqualify wọn àbí nǹkan kan. So mo ní belief wípé àwọn èèyàn tí party méjèèjì mú kalẹ̀ wọ́n ti decide ẹni tó máa gbé kalẹ̀ gangan. Wọ́n kàn fi àwọn yẹn síbẹ̀ bí fìdíhẹ́, which they might likely change them as time goes on. They might likely change them. Ó dà pé àwọn méjèèjì ń play game fúnra wọn pé mo fẹ́ wo ẹni tí ṣé wọn pọ́n ti mọ ẹni tí Àtíkù fà kalẹ̀. Now àwọn méjèèjì ń ṣọ́ra wọn pé jẹ́ ń wo ẹni tí Tinubu máa gbé kalẹ̀. Ìyẹn náà ń ṣọ́ yẹn pé jẹ́ ń wo ẹni tí Peter Obi máa gbé kalẹ̀. Wọ́n wá ń play game, wọ́n ń forí àwọn ọmọ àwọn èèyàn tó wà ń lù, wọ́n ń forí wọn tayò. Wọ́n kọ nǹkan tó bá máa ṣẹlẹ̀. Wọ́n ń play game, wọ́n ń forí wọn tayò because they don't care. Ẹnu nǹkan táwọn care ni pé at the end of the day káwọn ṣáà ti wọlé. Nǹkan tó bá máa wá ṣẹlẹ̀ lẹ́yìn ìgbà yẹn kò sí nǹkan tó kà wọ́n. Kò bá wá jẹ́ pé so gbogbo nǹkan tó ń sọ báyìí wọ́n ń tà fún àwọn èèyàn kalẹ̀ kí wọ́n máa set brain wọn síbẹ̀ pé a máa gbé Muslim ticket kalẹ̀ fún yín ẹ̀dẹ̀ ní choice. A máa gbé Christian ticket kalẹ̀ fún yín ẹ̀dẹ̀ ní choice. You will just have to choose. Ṣé mọ̀ pé Àtíkù ìyẹn ti gbé nǹkan tó máa gbé kalẹ̀ ó ti gbé kalẹ̀. So they are trying to tell you pé ní choice mọ́. Nǹkan tá bá gbé kalẹ̀ fún yín ẹ máa mú kan nu méjèèjì ni. Either way. But at the same time, Hausa Fulani know what they are doing. Oh, it's a game. Oh, it's a game. I think back. What ticket do you have during Abiola? You have Muslim tickets, which a lot of people didn't even bother, which a lot of people don't even care about it. Pé yes, and that's because irú èèyàn tí Abiola jẹ́, àwọn èèyàn ní believe pé àwọn sì lè fọkàn balẹ̀ pé he will do what is right. Yorùbá mi ò yé wa. Now, ask me, ṣé irú èèyàn tí Abiola jẹ́ ni Tinubu jẹ́? No. Wọ́n yàtọ̀ síra wọn. Ẹni tó bá sọ pé nǹkan kan ni wọ́n àbí wọ́n jọra wọn, ẹni yẹn ń parọ́ fún yín ni ó ń tàn yín ni. Wọ́n jọra wọn níbì kankan. Number one. Number two. Ara reason tí wọ́n ṣe jẹ́ kí Abiola débẹ̀. Ara ọgbọ́n tí Babangida àti àwọn kàbá lò ní wípé ṣé àwọn pé Babangida tẹnumọ́ wípé tó bá débẹ̀ there will be a coup d'etat. Wípé dẹ̀ ń pé yàtọ̀ sí yẹn tí àwọn yẹn ò bá gbàjọba lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀, àwọn èèyàn míì náà wọ́n á gbàjọba. Ara reason behind this ara nǹkan tó ń try àti sọ ni pé because it was a Muslim ticket. Wípé kò lè fly. The same game yẹn ó ní wọ́n gbé kalẹ̀ tó ń play fún bàbá àwọn Akadiski. The same game yẹn ó ní wọ́n gbé kalẹ̀ tó ń play fún bàbá àwọn Akadiski. Ṣé rántí fọ́nrán kan tó ti fi hàn yín sẹ́yìn ibi tí àwọn Haúsá yẹn ti ń ṣe ìpàdé tó ń sọ fúnra wọn pé tí ò bá ti gbé Muslim kó fi ṣe running mate ẹ̀ àwọn ò ní dìbò fún pé wọ́n gbọ́dọ̀ dìbò fún. Ṣé rántí wọ́n ti fi fọ́nrán yẹn hàn wá sẹ́yìn. In fact èmi wò lórí Mayegun èmi ò gba Haúsá ni wọ́n ń sọ but there was a guy on Mayegun show Ahmed ọmọ Yorùbá ni bọ̀ ó gba Haúsá ó túmọ̀ nǹkan tí wọ́n ń sọ ní Yorùbá tó di extent wọ́n sọ débi pé wọ́n sọ fúnra wọn pé ṣe mọ̀ pé ara bàbá yẹn ò yá tí wọ́n bá gbé Muslim ticket kalẹ̀ tó dẹ̀ jẹ́ ọmọ àwọn Haúsá Fúlàní ni tó bá tiẹ̀ lọ ṣèṣì wọlé nígbẹ̀yìngbẹ̀yìn tí nǹkan bá ṣe èmi ò gbàdúrà kú fẹ́ nìkankan Ọlọ́run rínú mi o wípé nígbẹ̀yìngbẹ̀yìn tí nǹkan bá ṣe ọmọ àwọn ló máa di president Muslim dẹ̀ ni. Now at the same time they are playing a game pé at the end of the day táwọn bá ní láti rẹ́gi mọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ yìí nídìí they need a reason wípé no ta ló ti gbà wọ́n nínú irú mọ̀ràn yẹn báwo lẹ ṣe máa rò wípé Muslim ticket máa work. Ṣé mọ̀ pátìkù sìn òun ti mú Christian as a running mate. Ẹ pay attention sí game yẹn. Àtíkù ti mú Christian as a running mate. They are playing a game. Wípé ìsídà kìíní máa pín sí méjì. Àtíkù máa win. Tó bá dẹ̀ win, ọmọ àwọn ló win nìyẹn, àwọn ti jẹ lọ nìyẹn. Àwọn máa tún máa ṣèjọba lọ. Àwọn máa continue ọṣẹ́ táwọn ń ṣe. The other way round. Tí Àtíkù ò bá win. Tí Tinubu bá lọ agídí tó ṣe gbogbo nǹkan tó ṣe bó ṣe ṣe tó gba primary. Tó bá tún lọ wọlé. Then there will not be a problem. Either the military will rise up and say, nǹkan tẹ́ gbé kalẹ̀ yìí kò lè fly. Nǹkan tẹ́ gbé kalẹ̀ yìí kò lè fly. Kò lè work fáwọn èèyàn. Don't be surprised that time. Àwọn Haúsá Fúlàní yẹn á bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí sọ fún yín pé àwọn ń gbèjà àwọn tó jẹ́ onígbàgbọ́ pé equation yẹn ò balance. For that reason, wọ́n lè láwọn dàrú. Wọ́n lè ní kò bójú mu, which means is it that they will say kí Buhari ṣì dúró síbẹ̀ náà kan túbọ̀ mí ṣe, or the military will come in wọ́n ti sọ yẹn fún yín tẹ́lẹ̀ military tán ti prepare ni o àwọn èèyàn wọn ló wà ń bẹ̀ o ẹ má rò pé wọ́n fẹ́ kó military tí ó ní belief nínú pé Yorùbá kan wà Igbo kan wà no military Hausa Fulani they will come in just like what happened in Afghanistan wọ́n kàn sọ fún yín ni pé wọ́n ti overthrow government wàhálà máa dé. Tíyàn ò bá ṣẹlẹ̀ tí wọ́n bá lò lágídí tí bàbá bá ní dandan òun lòun wọlé òun ni òun ṣe kinní kan they have a plan ẹnu tèmi kọ́ lẹ ti máa gbọ́ like I said Ọlọ́run ní jẹ́ kí n fi ẹnu mi roku síyàn mi roku sí anybody tá bá ń jà bí ká kúkọ́ mi ò roku sí anybody Ọlọ́run ló mọ ìgbà tí oníkálukú máa lò láyé bọ̀ nǹkan tí àwọn ní plan yẹn nǹkan tí wọ́n ń rò nìyẹn ẹ bira yín léèrè if they can do it sí ọmọ ìyá wọn tó jẹ́ Buhari ńgbà tó wọlé tí wọ́n bá lè lọ máa fi nǹkan sínú AC nínú Aso Rock wípé tó bá ti mi sínú kó lè kú think about it ẹ máa sọ pé bàbá yẹn gbọ́n wẹ́ kọ́lọ̀ ń sọ́yàn lọ́wọ́ ẹni tó ń sọ́yàn téèyàn ò sọ Yorùbá mi ò yé wa mo fẹ́ kẹ́ ní belief kan pé ara ìdí tí nǹkan tó fẹ́ ṣe fún Buhari tí ò fi work ni pé torí pé ó jẹ́ ara wọn àrílára wọn tó lọ salami fún tó lọ sòfófó fún ká ní pé ọmọ ọlọ́mọ ni ẹbìrà yín léèrè ikú wo ló pa olóògbé Babátúndé Ìdí Àgbọ̀n ikú wo ló pa General Abdulkarim Adisa ikú wo ló pa Abíọ́lá Dònídọ̀lá ṣé wọ́n sọ fún yín ṣe rí díẹ̀ ṣe mọ̀ túmọ̀ ẹ̀ bí wọ́n ṣe dọ́gbọ́n tí wọ́n rán aya assassin kó lọ pa bàbá Bọ́lá Ìgè sílé ṣé wọ́n explain ẹ̀ fún yín Dònídọ̀lá èmi ń sọ tèmi ni o based on my own calculation and my own understanding mo fẹ́ kẹ́ gbé láti bẹ̀yẹn kẹ́ think kẹ́ máa calculate wípé àwọn people yìí wọ́n mọ nǹkan tí wọ́n ń ṣe bọ̀ ẹ wá gbọ́ nǹkan tí Dr. Doyin Okupe ń sọ bí ẹ dẹ̀ máa wo body language ẹ̀ kó fi yé yín pé wọ́n ń play game wọ́n dẹ̀ ń toy pẹ̀lú brain àwọn èèyàn.
Dr. Okupe, you are the Director General of the Peter Obi Campaign Organization, and you presently
trying to sell the candidature of Peter Obi. But were you able to make the deadline? Were you able to beat it and submit a vice presidential candidate's name?
Yes, Seun, thank you very much. We naturally will comply with the electoral body, and in doing so, we believe that choosing the vice presidential candidate is part of the electoral process. And you will understand that Mr. Peter Obi came into the Labour Party on the 29th of May, which is just about, in fact, it's exactly 3 weeks ago. Therefore, and our idea and our reasoning is to bring together in this country for the first time the largest political coalition possible, because we are facing two political giants, APC, PDP, and we are serious about upstaging them, and we will. But to do that, we cannot do it alone. We need to be able to put together this coalition, and and the so-called third force is now alive, and it is forming, and it is important for us to ensure that all the stakeholders are carried along from the beginning to the end. We do not want a situation where an action is taken and then people feel that, okay, well, you have cooked this soup, you have finished it, what is that, what is in it for us? So because of this, I, Dr. Donye Okupe, is standing in as the vice presidential candidate for the Labour Party.
Did you hear that? Ṣé òyìnbó tam tó lò yẹn ṣó yé yín? I'm standing in. I am standing in. He didn't say he is, but he is standing in. Gẹ́gẹ́ bí running mate Peter Obi, which means they have not finalized. Wọ́n tí conclude. And option ọgbọ́n tí wọ́n wá lò ní pé àwọn ṣì ń wo possibility pé àwọn lè form coalition pẹ̀lú àwọn party kékèké kọ̀ọ̀kan, just like bí APC ṣe pẹ̀lú party bí ṣe AC ni bọ́n ṣe dà papọ̀ mọ́ party Buhari ń gbà yẹn tí wọ́n fi form coalition government tí wọ́n wá fi beat PDP ń gbà yẹn pé àwọn ń wo possibility pé àwọn náà fẹ́ ṣe the same thing. Fún díẹ̀ yìí, in order to meet the deadline, kama ba láwọn meet the deadline, òun standing, orúkọ òun ni wọ́n submit as running mate fún Peter Obi, but it is not final yet. Kò tí wà finalized, which means ó mọ̀ pé loophole wà nínú òfin randanrandan tán gbélé Nigeria for them to change this before the election. Wípé okay, I will change the running mate Peter Obi. Based on this thing, okay, at the form coalition pẹ̀lú àwọn eléyìí. So in order to be fair, a fẹ́ kéèyàn kan tó wá láti inú party ta form coalition pẹ̀lú ẹ̀ kó jóun ló máa jẹ́ running mate Peter Obi. And that's why the choice of Donye Okupe as the running mate for Peter Obi. Ẹni tó bá ń sọ fún yín pé wọ́n ti finalize pé ẹni tó máa jẹ́ running mate Peter Obi nìyẹn, irọ́ ló ń pa fún yín. As at right now, as at ilẹ̀ tó mọ́lé ni wọ́n ti finalize. They can wake up tomorrow and tell you the name has changed and put somebody else in there. Likewise, mo ní believe wípé APC can wake up tomorrow and tell you wípé running mate Tinubu ó change. Just like wọ́n ṣe play game pẹ̀lú yín ìgbà tó yẹ kán ṣe primary wọ́n postpone wọn ṣe níjọ́ yẹn. Then you started hearing news wípé party ti pick consensus candidate wọ́n dárúkọ ẹnìkan. Ṣé mọ̀ pé tán dárúkọ ń gbà yẹn gan sì kò sínú party wọn mọ́ sí ó ti fi party wọn lẹ̀ ó ti kúrò, which means that was what they planned and intended to do until tí bàbá àwọn Akadiski tó lọ fi Yorùbá Nation negotiate tí wọ́n wá change option yẹn, wọ́n change opinion wọn, ó náwó ó dẹ̀ fi Yorùbá Nation negotiate. Tọ́n bá nírọ́ lápá ẹni kan lọ síbi tó gùn bá ti dájú kan dó síbẹ̀ kan búra tó bá dá wọn lójú. So the same game yẹn òun náà ṣì ń play lọ́wọ́ yìí. The same game yẹn òun náà ṣì ń play lọ́wọ́ yìí. Ẹ máa wo body language ìgbà tán bá tì sí tán bá bí pé okay, is that final? ṣé ìwọ ló máa jẹ́ running mate ẹ máa gbọ́ nǹkan tó máa sọ.
Just there, another breaking news that may be coming in. Dr. Doyin Okukwe's name has been submitted as the vice presidential candidate of the Labour Party. Is that confirmed? Is that what has been submitted to INEC? It looks so much that there is a lot of quiet about it. Why is it looking like a kind of a secret?
There's no secret here. You know, we're talking to so many groups, so many youth groups, so many political formations. We're talking to PRP, we're talking to NNPP, we're talking to SDP. You know, we are talking to every possible major political outfit outside APC and PDP. Therefore, so it's not, we're not hiding anything. But, you know, we cannot...
So,
you know,
I mean, in essence, so clarify to us, Dr. Okukwe, you said you are standing in as the vice presidential candidate. That means your name might be...
The key word is standing in. He said, I am standing in. He didn't say, I am. He said, I am standing in.
Substituted sometimes in the future, or are you the substantive? Because using the word standing in doesn't quite fit well into the shape of someone who will, from the beginning to the end, be the running mate to a Peter Obi.
well, this, I'm not sure whether you can hear me. Okay, good. Now, that's what I said, that the choosing of the vice president candidate is a process, is an electoral process. All right, and it does not stop until the process and the schedule ends. The INEC allows you to present a candidate,
some kind of
and if you want later on, if you want to substitute, you may substitute if necessary. But if it is not necessary, you know, you may as well continue. So the present situation is that we believe that this Labour Party government that is coming is really essentially going to be about young Nigerians. Those of us who have been part and parcel of our sordid past, we must be prepared to pay the sacrifice, even the personal sacrifice, of allowing a situation where we can lift up our youth to position of power and authority. Well, you know, practically you can look at me. You know, I have a large frame, but you know, I have a very, very broad back. And I'm willing to put down my back so that young people can stand on my back and come to the top. You know, and no sacrifice is too big to do to achieve this. You know, we will continue to work. We will continue to pursue this project until we are able to hand over Nigeria, reset the country, and hand over Nigeria to the rightful owners of the country, the workers in this country.
Who are the rightful owners of the country? Even though own suffering pay the workers, right? But he knows what he's talking about. They want to hand over Nigeria to the rightful owners. Okay.
The youths of this country who are
let's get to my initial question. Yeah, I get that. Dr. Okupe, let's get to what I asked earlier, and it's about what we need to know as far as the decision of your party and your candidate is concerned. Is it certain, is it given that you, Dr. Okupe, is the vice presidential candidate of the Labour Party, and that is going to be what we will see to the end?
Correct. I am, as of today, as I'm speaking with you, the vice presidential candidate of the Labour Party.
You see how he's playing with English, right? The question is simple. He first of all said, correct. Then he put the clause, as of today, which means it might change tomorrow. It might change tomorrow. Don't be surprised. If tomorrow they come out and you see an Hausa Fulani man as the running mate to Peter Obi, don't be surprised. You seeing Dr. Doyin Okupe right now? I don't know. Even the choice of APC right now is sketchy. It's sketchy. Like I told you right before now, this is like a chess game. They see everybody in that locality as a pawn on their chessboard. And they can do away with them as they wish, as they like. They see themselves as kings and queens that needs to be protected on this chessboard. And they will go to any length. They will go to any length. That is why ìdí táwa fi ń pariwo fún yín nìyẹn pé Yorùbá nation ló lè ṣe. Kò sí any other thing, kò sí any other choice. Fake population census tí Hausa ti ń lò láti donkey years tí àwọn British tí wọ́n ti bá wọn establish. What are you going to do about it? There's nothing you can do about it. They kept building on that and they will continue building on it. Wọ́n ní jẹ́ kó crash. Báwo lẹ ṣe fẹ́ ṣe? And as long as they have that population, ṣé rántí pé ní last year ni man Fulani yẹn ní Ọ̀yọ́ state tó jáde tó ní àwọn Fulani, àwọn ní about 40 million population. Pé táwọn bá lọ join mọ́ Hausa, ìpè kí lẹ fẹ́ ṣe? Are they not showing you now? Is that not what you are seeing? Ṣé kìí ṣe nǹkan tẹ́ ń rí nìyẹn ni? Is that not what is playing out? Àwífún ni kó tó dání, àgbàjàkadì ni. Ibi tí màá fi àdàgbà ọ̀rọ̀ mi rọ̀ sílẹ̀ nìyẹn. Ìwọ tó bá lọ́gbọ́n tó bá ní iye, tí Ọlọ́run bá fún ẹ láǹfààní, lọ research gbogbo àwọn kinní lọ wò dáadáa. Wàá ti mọ̀ pé ibi tí àwọn kinní tó likely kó já sí, Hausa Fulani ò ní lose out. This is their game. I already said it before now. Checkmate ni wọ́n wà báyìí. Yes, Tinubu made some moves. Ó fi pọ́n ti jẹ lọ. But they are checkmating him right now. Ipe ọ̀rẹ́, checkmate. Make another move. Let us see. And that's why right now, I am thinking, Tinubu ò tí mú running mate. I am thinking. His running mate might change tomorrow. Don't be surprised. For Labour Party, ẹ má dara yín láàmú. You can hear what the man is saying. Ẹ gbọ́ gbogbo nǹkan tí Dr. Doyin Okupe sọ. Ẹ study ẹ wo body language ẹ. They've not made a choice. They are waiting on APC to make a choice first. They still don't trust pé NT-APC múlẹ̀ yẹn òun ló máa jẹ́ running mate Tinubu. That's why they are playing the same game. Okay, you are presenting a Muslim. Okay, we will present a Christian. Àwọn méjèèjì ń fi ọpọlọ àwọn èèyàn play game ni. Wọ́n mọ nǹkan tí wọ́n ń ṣe, ó jọ yé wọn ni. And that's why Dr. Doyin Okupe kò wá specific. Ó ní I'm standing in. Ìgbà tán tún bí pé no, tell us. Ṣé ó máa change? Kò fẹ́ làmọ́lẹ̀ pé ó máa change. Ó ní as at today o, èmi ni. So ento òyìnbó ni is just playing with English. Because kò fẹ́ kó wà plain níta mẹ́rin pé yes, wọ́n lè change running mate Peter Obi lọ́la. Wọ́n lè change ẹ̀ lọ́tùnla. Yes. Now, tí room bá wà fún Labour Party láti change running mate, that tells you the same thing pé room wà fún APC láti change running mate. Room wà fún PDP láti change running mate. Even bá ṣe ń sọ̀rọ̀ yìí gan, I won't be surprised tó bá di lọ́la. I won't be surprised tó bá di lọ́la. Tán bá tún sọ fún wa pé Peter Obi ni running mate Atiku, I won't be surprised. Kò ní jọ èmi lójú, kò ní yà mí lẹ́nu. So, gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọmọ Yorùbá tẹ́ lọ́gbọ́n tẹ́ lóye, gbogbo àwọn information ó wà online bí mi ṣe máa ń sọ. Gbogbo nǹkan tí mo ń sọ̀rọ̀ lé lórí tí mo kó mọ́ra wọn yìí, orí afẹ́fẹ́ ni mo ti mú, online mo ti mú. Gbogbo tí mo sọ ń pa Tinubu, wípé drug baron ni, is not news. Ìgbà tó fẹ́ jẹ governor ní Lagos State, wọ́n gbé kó lójú, wọ́n sọ̀kan lójú. It's online. ẹ lọ wò but ẹ bá ti ń fi orúkọ ẹ wá ẹ fi narcotics sí lára tẹ́ ẹ bá fi sí ẹ lè má rí oríṣiríṣi propaganda lẹ máa rí ẹ máa rí mi tí wọ́n kọ tí wọ́n sọ pé ẹ kò ṣe kinní kan no go and look for the real one tó máa sọ fún yín ó gbọ́dọ̀ máa sọ court tí wọ́n gbé lọ state tí wọ́n ti fi ẹ̀sùn kàn and the only reason why he walk away ni pé ó forfeit gbogbo property tó nígbà yẹn he lost about $400 and something thousand so that kí wọ́n má bá ṣe case l'Amẹ́ríkà èèyàn tí ò bá jẹ̀bi kò ní forfeit kò ní lùsì adúrú owó yẹn kò ní forfeit property ẹ lọ wò dáadáa ẹ lọ wà ó wà ńbẹ̀ tó bá ti ní ọmọ ọ̀sán làwọn àwọn fẹ́ máa kó pọ́npọ́ bá bàbá wọn yes let's go on táka dísìkì bá tó bẹ́ẹ̀ kó tún bọ́ síta kó tún wá jambla ẹnu a tún máa bá wọn a máa bá wọn wú jáde lẹ́yọ kọ̀ọ̀kan a máa bá wọn wà jáde níbi tó wà a ní interest nínú bàbá wọn he can go and do whatever he wants to do we are less concerned but if they think they can come out and attack Yoruba nation or use Yoruba nation as a leverage to get what they want then wọ́n máa bá wa náà ńbẹ̀ wọ́n máa bá wa náà ńbẹ̀ wọ́n máa bá wa ńbẹ̀ bó ṣe máa rí nìyẹn we are less concerned about them àárí tí wọ́n rò rárá àti any time fún wọn bọ̀ kò sí ẹni tó gbẹ́nu ẹ̀fà lágbàfọ̀ kò dẹ̀ sẹ́ni tó tutù nínú wa táwọn bá lọ́mọ orí street làwọn ọmọ orí street làwa náà akàn ń dọ́gbọ́n pé ká fọpọlọ kun ká fọmọlúàbí kun ni àwọn ò dẹ̀ ní báyàn kankan play dirty but téèyàn bá fi pòun lè máa parọ́ mọ́ wa àwa máa mú òótọ́ tó wà ń pa titi wọn tá a mọ̀ a máa mú jáde fún yín ọ̀rọ̀ mi lè ní kò ní jù báyìí lọ títí dìgbà tá a tún pàdé èmi ọmọ yín àbúrò yín olólùfẹ́ yín ni Mike Ọlá mo ń kí gbogbo wa mo ní ẹ ṣé o ẹ kú àdúrótì ọwọ́ yín ò ní kàn sàlẹ̀ àpò torí pé owó lẹ fi ń ra dátà tẹ fi ń wò wá tẹ fi ń gbọ́ wá ẹ á mọ̀ lóore o a sì dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ yín kò ní sú wa kò ní rẹ̀ wá o Ọlọ́run ti gbà fún wa ná gbogbo ẹni tó bá ẹ mọ̀ pé akádìsíkì báyìí fúnra rẹ̀ oníkọ́ ẹ̀ ó ti fẹnu ara ẹ̀ pé kú ó ní kò ní sojú òun èmi kàn bá ṣàṣẹ sí ni mo bá bẹ Ọlọ́run pé kọ́lọ́run bá sàmì sí bó ṣe sọ títí gbà tá tún wá pàdé mo ní ká ríra láyọ̀ ká pàdé láyọ̀ mo gbàdúrà pé ire owó ire ọmọ àkúbálẹ̀ ọ̀rọ̀ àti fọkànbalẹ̀ kó wá fi lé wa kó fi ọ̀dẹ̀dẹ̀ wa kó fi ṣe bùgbé ajínigbé ò ní jí yín gbé o kò ní jí yín láya gbé kò ní jí yín lọ́kọ gbé kò ní jí yín lọ́mọ gbé àwọn wèrè èèyàn àwọn ẹni burúkú àwọn ìránṣẹ́ àwọn àkádìsíkì àtàwọn bàbá wọn tí wọ́n ìkànlẹ̀kùn kan tó wọlé èèyàn wọn ní mọ bùgbé yín o wọn tiẹ̀ ní mọ̀nà lé yín débi tí wọ́n á mọ ibùgbé yín láṣẹ Èdùmàrè ká ríra láyọ̀ ká pàdé láyọ̀ ó dàbọ̀.